move. So it won't. It'll just park and wait for the next day.
Oh, I don't understand that. I'm so
It's an
sorry.
al- it's an out so the algorithms have rules and ways. These are algorithms, not people. Right? So in order to move and do things, certain rules and criterias have to be met. And the more intimately you understand my system, the more you'll see this because my system's based upon their programming movements. Right? So an ATR really factors in a lot of it. Right? So you can see how our ATR is on the outside. The algorithm knows what the ATR is. The algorithm knows how high and how low it's going to go and how high when it needs to turn around. There's rules that are all put in place for all of those things. It's an insanely manipulated environment, right? Quantitatively manipulated, right? So they know exactly where they're trying to do things. And they're not as confusing about it as people often think. Most of the time when people are thinking that that they're being, the market's being really tricky, it's really like the market's being kind of obvious. We're just kind of tricking ourselves by second guessing what's kind of often really obvious stuff we're seeing. So you got to kind of like think about it in the system, right? On a lower range, wide range, right? The ideal play is an R3 short. The reason why the ideal play is an R3 short is if this ticker only moves this far in a day, where can you short and have that line up, right? If you short from up here, right, you're not going to be able to get back to S4, right? So the algorithm will know it can't get back to S4 and it won't try. It'll actually just chop up here, close for the day, and then on the next day when it gets new cams, right, it'll calculate its ATR based off of those new cams, make decisions, and then do it that day, right? If that works, right? So the reason why the system is so precise about where we're getting in and when we're getting in from those locations is because we're trying to take advantage of all of these variables in order to get a move that goes from, here to here, right? Or that goes from here up to here, right? But if you go long from the wrong spot, this is the reason why you won't hit a target. Because for instance, if you went long from S3 today, right, and let's say you didn't get it right off of S3, well, if you're going to get profit, you better get to it before you get to R3 because the top side of the ATR is right there. And it's very likely it's going to reject from here. Well, if it runs from R3, well, the downside ATR is way down here, right? So from R3 to S4, you can get a good move. So that's why we prefer the short here, not longing into here, even though it will likely long into here. But we want to take advantage of the ATR and the range that we'll get by shorting from this area. Along here, we'll likely still get a waterfall against it, so you're just going to get chopped out. So, but you have to understand, as difficult as this is often to even fathom, right, is that we're very, very small, infinitesimal fish in an incredibly large, vast ocean full of whales that are larger than any whale you could possibly conceive. Think about us not maybe as fish, but more as like plankton. We're so small. These players are so large, right? And their control over the market is massive, right? Their ability to these especially these market making agents, you're talking about billions of dollars in profit a year, right? And that's not traffic. It's trillions of dollars worth of traffic, billions of dollars worth of profit. You know what I mean? And so, in this market is their market, and they're moving it with their algorithms to exactly where they want it to go because they're algorithms. So you have to kind of start thinking about some of these things. Like my short on AMD yesterday, it looked like it was a short right at the open, although there was a little bit of a bullish ladder on the smaller time frame. But we were too far away from R3 for me to go short, so I waited for it to pull back to R3, and then I got short, right? And then I got the really nice move. But if I had tried to go short before that, I would have gotten chopped out. And if it had worked, getting to my target would have been very difficult. So I really needed to wait just so I had all of those elements all in line at the same time. So, but the more you can kind of lean towards the, kind of almost thinking, thinking almost like the way you would imagine a computer would need to think if this computer wants to move the price and someone has instructed the computer the price, where does it need to go in order to do those, and kind of try and build that narrative. And over time, with obviously a lot of effort, I've been doing this for over half a decade now, consistently, and it's you start to really kind of see how maybe it is a little bit more obvious and a little bit more predictable than you think. But it's just kind of wild to take it all in. But just give it time. It'll
So,
sort.
like PR is the pivot range. Is that
Yep.
from the top ADR to the bottom, or
Pivot range is just the pivot range.
is it like
Pivot
the
range is
force?
R4 to S4.
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
That's fine.
ATR calculates off of pre-market low,
Mhm.
because a stock will only move so far every single day off of its pre-market low, or it will only move down so far every day off of its pre-market high. But its ATR is based off of whatever that inverse is, right? If it's at pre-market, if pre-market low is lower than low of day, ATR is off of pre-market low, right? So even if we opened right here, right, it would make the ticker look very, very strong, right? Well, why wouldn't we start longing? I mean, we're opening above the previous day's close. Wouldn't this be a very, and the vast majority of traders would come in immediately looking at this ticker as being very strong. We're opening above PDC, right? But actually, Edgeful stats will teach you quite the opposite, that most tickers close PDC. So close that gap. So by opening above PDC, by no means indicates a ticker strong. If anything, it means it's gonna sell at the open. We'll see if it's strong after it sells. We'll see what happens. But so in this instance, if you tried to go long very early above PDC, although it looked strong, you would actually be going long right at the ATR extension for Meta for the day. You know what I mean? Like, we really don't expect Meta to move any further that day unless something really interesting happens with it, right? Which isn't what we're after. You know what I mean? The ideal play on Meta is, if it opened here, would be to see if it goes ahead and starts distributing right out of the gate. If it starts distributing, get short and play it down to the buyer. There's probably going to be a buyer squatting somewhere around 580, right? So, and then we'll zoom out on our book. Let's see if we've got a squatter at 580. Boom, there they are. Right? Really nice ladder, a lot of clouds or like stuff like that. We still need to build some downside book between, down to 586. So, but a little bit of a squeeze up to 595. Guess where? PDC and R3, right? So right up to 595, that's where we'd expect to kind of accumulate, do a big distribution hit. We're already selling, we're already distributing. So just a little bit of a squeeze and then continue our distribution. By then, they'll probably build some orders to the downside that'll help connect us to 586. And we can short in towards 586, right? And just get this nice little run, and, all done by 580. No more expectation after that, because that's our ATR low. So we really don't expect to go any further down than 580.
Hey Thor.
Yep.
I was wondering, I just downloaded, yesterday I set up the TOS workspace, and I'm not sure why. I'm sure I set it up successfully, but I'm not really seeing the same information on anything, unfortunately.
Say that one more time.
I'm not seeing any of the same information on the TOS workspace that you guys are.
Okay. Did you load the whole workspace?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
downloaded
I
it
don't know.
365.
I've noticed like a fair lack of efficiency in that. Like, and I've complained to Toss a few times already via email, like, where I've said, hey, people load the workspaces and it doesn't look anything like the workspaces. Is there something I can do about that? And the person just kind of wrote back like, meh. You know what I mean? Like, so what most people have had to do is basically, with the workspace, whatever you've got with it, and then just start loading in the individual components basically, and kind of building it out.
Okay, because I loaded in Leslie's coding, and I'm not seeing the same information for, at least for Meta, Apple and AMD, so I wasn't sure if anyone else had
What
experienced that.
is it? Is it saying anything in particular?
Yeah, so for Meta, it's saying without narrow and lower range, and it's also not giving any of the plays.
Could be your time frame.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
Okay.
My time frame was messed
I
up.
was gonna make sure, that would be the first thing I would check is make sure you have in your time interval 5 days.
Yeah, so I've got 5 days. I've got 5 days, 3 minutes.
That should be fine. Make sure you're one thing we found that was messing up mine was under time access and chart settings, having your expansion area set too large does some
Okay.
weird things. So maybe check that and make sure that's set to like 10, which is where
Okay.
I changed mine to, and that worked. Mine was set at like 400 and something, and that was like not working very well.
Okay.
If not,
I don't.
unfortunately, my tech support ability is, it's about as good as my bedside manner.
No, that's okay. It's all good.
So
I'll mess
I'll
around
help
with
as much
it.
as I can, but surprisingly enough, it's not my strength anymore. Can you believe I actually used to? So my first experience with the market was actually being a tech support for an options trading platform. It's still in existence today, and they still use the logo that I created, which is kind of cool. And it just shows how you can be a tech support for something and not absorb anything from it whatsoever. I still don't know how to trade options. I've got a mental block. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to do something and your brain just decided it didn't want to know about it. And even when you change your mind and you're like, no, I think it'd be cool to know about that, your brain just goes, no, 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 we already decided you weren't going to know about that. Just fine.
Is that why you? Is that why you created all this PCP plays on TOS?
Yeah, I mean, for real. Part of
Yeah.
the reason why I have everything created this way is I'm trying to, I really want to, for all of us, I really love the idea of us being able to, like, this is the system, this is how it works, here's the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, let's not overcomplicate the process here.
Hey Thor, would you mind
really good.
going to your edit studies just to the left of the cog you just clicked on? I just want to take a look at something. Give me 1 second, please. I'm just gonna uh, screenshot that to make sure mine's set up the same way.
Cool. It always changes the orders on it all over the place for me, so I don't know if that's relevant in any capacity.
All right, got it. Thank you.
If a stock is opening above R3 on the daily, but opening around S1 on the 1, 5, and 15, how would you play it? Um, Daily position is irrelevant to the intraday play. Just good to be aware of because the price flows better if you are aligned with the range. Opening at started on the day. So, slight announcement of something I'm going to start doing new. I kind of announced this in mentoring yesterday, but I'm going to announce it again today. So I'm going to start doing something new this weekend, and I know I've gotten quite a few of the reviews caught up, but not all of them. So for anyone who hasn't had their reviews from the last week completed, I'm just going to kind of complete them, I think, this weekend when I do your other ones. But what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing them in a different way. So and hopefully this works. It seemed to be a pretty good response overall. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a video recording using like Google Meet or something like that, where I can actually record my screen and my video. And then, because when I hit start and stop on it, it actually does captioning and it sends me a link of a video to download. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, and I think it'd be a lot better anyway. I'm going to pull your TradeZilla up, and then I'm going to verbally video and on camera we'll go through your trades, which I think will make it, I spend right now probably 45 minutes plus on average per person whose reviews I'm doing, and it's just an insane amount of time. I think I could probably cut that down a lot, so I'm hoping to get the review down to maybe a 10-minute to 15-minute per person video recap, for of the week, which will have all the same information, and then I'll provide a transcript, and then I'll paste the link and the transcript basically into the last note of the day of the session. Anyway, and I think that, and then that way you'll have a video if you want to keep it forever, like so you can reference it. It'll probably only last for a few days, so you'll want to download it and save the video, but then obviously the transcript will be pasted in text, so you can keep that. Anyway, I'm going to try that this weekend. Fingers crossed. I want to make this process a little more efficient and do that. We likey? Nice. All right, I'm going to grab a fresh drink. I'll be right back.
What I miss? So these would not be?
Why is Thor mute?
Is he muted or is he
Well,
just
this
not talking?
explains why nobody's been talking to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were
That's what I
wondering.
figured.
I like to talk to myself.
I saw all the movement on the screen, and then usually you don't do that. You're usually talking and explaining.
I like Apple at the open. It's really the only thing right now that's like where I want it to be at the open.
And we're open. Yeah.
I want to see if it draws down at all. If it does.
Hey
it might-
Thor, you know what I noticed on NQ? The ATR for the daily is 334. We've already moved 436.
What? Hey, look at my screen real quick.
Okay.
Look where the ATR is. Lower range, wide range. R3 would be the short spot. Look where the ATR for the high is. Right at
Yeah,
R3.
But you know, we've moved a full ATR already this morning.
My ATR comes in at 345.49 and off of pre-market low. So far, we're still giving it a little bit more upside, about 129 points worth of upside still.
Okay. I don't know. Oh, because I'm using width. So width.
We're with today.
Oh yeah, I don't know why my daily candle shows this. That's weird. Okay, well thanks for clearing that up. I don't know why.
Yeah, of course. Apple looks like it's going to try and go long there. It didn't dip deep enough for me to hit it, but that was the spot. I should have hit it right there, but whatever. I'll just if it doesn't come back a little bit deeper, I'll just let it go and play the short later. It just wasn't quite deep enough. See what I mean? Like, so my calculation on Apple is different on my cams here. DOS's puts it a little bit higher, but either way, I didn't get an S3 test on either one of them. So I don't like it for the long because of that. So I'll probably just let this one go unless it gives me a nice. It would be nice if it gave me a nice dip here and came off of it. That'd be great. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it run out to see. Yeah, it probably won't even make it to R4. So
AMD made a pop. It almost looked like it wanted to run to R3, but now it's dropping. Nice big
give
order.
it time.
120.
Give it a little time.
Oh, Andrew and Brian are cracking me up, especially Brian. With
Why?
The Captain Jack
Oh
Sparrow.
yeah, they got their stuff on.
I just pulled it up. I was like, what?
Andrew's got his
That is-
his whatchamacallit hat on from
He looks like a steampunk like captain, and then you got old Captain Jack Sparrow down there.
that's
Why are they dressed up? Is it
Nah, just being stupid.
just for fun?
Yeah. That's his
I like
Burning
that.
Man
I like that.
hat on.
Just for fun.
Yeah. Looks like he shaved his head a little bit. He looks really cleaned up. Trimmed the beard a bit.
I need to trim my beard. Getting a bit overgrown.
It's overrated.
Getting a bit beardy.
Yeah.
Trimming the beard's overrated.
Is it? Should I
Yeah,
just
it
let it
is.
go, mountain man? My
I ju-
sister says my sister says that, she always tells me, she's like, are you trying to look like one of those Duck Dynasty guys? I'm like, no.
You're like, but they are rich. So
Do you like it?
I could actually see that you looking like. I could see it if you had a beard. You would kind of
Yeah.
look like him.
Yeah. Well, that's what my sister says. That when it gets too long, that's her little hint. Time to
So
cut the beard.
the old man from frickin' Duck Dinosaur. Ornery old
I've got an uncle that
crotchety guy used to run his own run his own shine still. I mean,
Oh, cool. I had a friend that used to
I've got
make
an
those
uncle
kinds.
that'll.
that's a family story that we
Yeah.
keep in the back pocket is that we have a family member that got arrested.
Did he ever make apple pie moonshine?
for doing shine? He actually used an because it was there's some Irish on that side, and it was
Okay.
like he basically made like a shine version of vodka.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
he used potatoes. Pretty cool.
I've got an uncle that'll make 2 or 3 sentences all into one word.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
You
about.
grow up around them.
I
Yeah,
got
you
I got
can't
one of
really
those.
understand what he's talking about.
That's
Uncle
the
Gig.
that's the difference between basically like as you're progressing through the different types of Southerners, you can kind of tell when you get a little bit deeper, especially more into the Creole side. You can really tell because basically the only difference is just like how open the person's mouth is, right? That's the only difference in Southern is just how open the person's mouth is. So like if you go to Texas, right? In Texas, everyone opens up their mouth really wide. That's why everyone in Texas sounds like this because their mouth is always open when they talk. They all sound like Ron
I'm
White,
getting now.
all big.
I
But
understand
down
how to
here,
do it now.
down here in Southern Propa, we just kind of talk midline, like
Yeah.
we good diction, but we don't really like do that. But then when you go to Creole side, it's basically like they just stop moving their mouths altogether. You're just like, hey, how's everybody doing over there? It's like, what the hell did he just say? Nobody knows. All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
my
S3,
uncle-
baby. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get a response now here at S3 on Apple.
NQ is just barcoding.
Yeah, it's kind of
AMD, it's now almost there to R3.
Is it?
Yeah,
Might be
almost
another
up to
new
120.
trade.
It's looking pretty bullish though.
A little buy response
Book is
there.
bullish.
AMD getting to R3 for sure. Nice response there.
Microsoft down to S6, but that's a really tight range on those cams. Or sorry, S6. I think I said R6.
It's a good spot, man. I like it right here. That was a really nice shot right there to R3. Really pretty. Brian Pesum just said AMD's a long.
You like Apple at R4 or S4?
I don't know if I think it's a long. Let me see. I
It's a
feel like
pretty
the order book
bearish
seems a little
5-minute.
empty above 120. Like we've got a good ladder though to 119.80, but above 120 we've got a void. It doesn't look like any orders there. I think we got a little bit better ladder down into 118 right now. But I want to see, and it seems like our bid's absorbing. So I'd like. Oh look, there's some more. They're bringing in some more bid now. That buy again absorbed in the selling range, in the right spot. Good spot. The only issue is I wish we were a little closer to that ATR high. But look at this, Nathan. Check this crap out. Watch this. You want to see some wild? I've seen the out. So hey, Farah, are you still on as well, by any chance?
Yep, I am. Yep.
So just kind of dipping into the whole algorithm. One of the things I've notice where the downside ATR is. Notice how it's almost been pulled up right to the edge of the range. So you'll be
Nice.
surprised, like the
understand it
Yeah,
fully.
it's one
Yeah.
of those things where it can be a little bit of a trick, you know. It's not necessarily fortunately, it's not really something that's required to understand in order to be able to, you
Yeah.
know, to
But
do
it's
the
nice
thing.
to understand.
But you know, I would like you to kind of have the the overarching sense of things,
Yeah.
you know, just for that. But we'll get there. Look at that little. We got a little indecision, little ISO pivot maybe here on AMD right at R3. So if with how high they went, if they go any higher than this, they're not going to be able to make the move. So in theory, this should be high of day if they intend to move lower. If they don't move, if they move higher than this, basically at this point, I would suggest they don't have an intent to move lower. I guess there's bids. There they are.
The large gap on the RTH settings on NQ we're pushing into. The gap's up to 21,363.
Yeah, I grabbed a little bit of a long just at the open since we were in a buying range. So I'm just kind of holding. If it comes below the 50, I'll probably get out. I'm gonna cut it one way or the other once we get to R3 because I really want to play a short at R3. But the market really looked like it was gonna start rallying, especially after that 830 grab they did. So the only question is now, Lauren, is will they manipulate that? Like, are we gonna do we get all the way to R3 before they try and sell it down and sweep it and piss everybody off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I grabbed a short on AMD, so we'll see what happens. Downside to taking this short, I'm already going to mention it right off the gate. CVD seems a little green. So my hindsight on this one, if I criticize myself, will be that it looked like maybe it was buying a little bit too much. But I like this a lot. So
Do you think just a test of 120 would still be too high? Because that's what I was waiting for. I really wanted to just test 120 first.
You know, I think 120 is doable. If it goes through 120, I might let it sweep me and then get back in. I ran my stop above 120, so I'm in with a stop at 120.03. So if it goes
Where's
up
your
to
buy?
sweep, buys in at 119, 30 something, 38, 39, 37.
My stop is at 2022, and I got it
Target's got
1944.
is like a freaking massive run though because of how
Yeah.
wide I ran my stop. So I got to get a pretty sizable move here. But I can get to target, but I need basically a full ATR run to pull it off. I gotta get I gotta get back to 116 basically. I'm a little ahead of 116. So it's gonna be nasty.
Can you look at Amazon, please? And it's kind of confusing. I know it says no PCP found, but the bookmap is looking pretty bearish. But where the stock is right now, would you say that it'll go up towards the ADR on the top side before it sort of like move to the downside?
Which one again? Sorry?
Amazon.
Amazon coming at ya. So Amazon today for me, I technically didn't assign a play. And the main reason being is the ATR has some slight issues.
Alright.
Just with how low we were in the pre-market, our ATR comes in before we can really complete our move to R3. So
Okay.
Amazon is a little bit, even though it's a wider range, it's a little bit less ideal. But you know, hopefully it'll exceed its ATR a little bit if it goes. Let me see. Let me look at the book. That's the only thing. I like that it's above monthly R4. That's pretty sweet. I like that it consolidated and it's at S3 and above S3. The only thing that would keep me off of this would just be the expectation of how far I would think it goes. But if it decides to close to PDC, it maybe it exceeds ATR a little bit today.
And the older book, am I right in terms of like reading it as a bit bearish rather than? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say this is bearish.
Okay.
Are you short right now?
No, I'm
Oh,
not.
okay. Okay.
I'm not even trading. I can barely open my eyes. I'm so sleepy.
Oh, sleepy. No bueno. I get you though, man. My daughter decided to party until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Why do you do this?" So we just kept her home from school because today was the last day before Christmas break anyway. So we're like, whatever. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
my kids are
let's
half day. I had to pick them up
Yeah.
from school, and normally it's my
Ugh.
husband, and I was just, no, this is not for me.
Like, this is not what I have time for. Make it stop. But yeah, all right. So looking at the book here, so when you're looking at the book, there's two things, and this for everybody. There's a couple things to make sure you're considering. Hold on 1 second. There we go. There's a couple things that we want to consider when you're looking at the book, right? So and the easiest way to do this is to break the concept of the book into basically two participants: your larger time frame or your institutional orders, and or shorter time frame, which also include market maker orders, right? So a lot of times when we see short time frame orders, we assume these are retail traders that are putting these orders in. It's not actually true in most instances. It's probably market makers. 80% of the traffic is from market makers, right? The vast majority of the traffic is from market makers, which includes the smaller traffic as well, right? So it's better, instead of to think of it as like us and them, think of it as large time frame versus short time frame orders that are designed to move us between the big orders versus orders that are designed to actually fulfill large requests, right? So in this instance, you can see here we seem to be distributing right now as far, we are distributing right now, right? We don't seem to be. We are officially distributing right now, right? So let's go AMD. And look how we have large institutional bids and shorter time frame orders connecting them. Notice if you look to the top side, we do have a larger time frame ask or a larger time frame seller, but notice the lack of orders connecting to it, right? So you can kind of see a lack of intention or desire to even go to that order right now. It doesn't mean that if we get buying, we won't go to that order later, but for right now, we're not. If we're going to go up, they'll actually build the book in here. They'll build a ladder of smaller time frame orders to connect to that larger order, and then they'll go up and get it, right? So, but right now, as long as the order book looks weighted to the downside, and what you can do to practice in the beginning is, like, I'll take like this box and just stick it right here. So it lets me just focus not on what was, but what is. And look at it. Look how this looks once you isolate inside the box. Does that not look bearish? Right? Very, very little larger time frame or smaller time frame orders necessarily to the top side right now. All larger orders to the downside within range and most of that. So this thing, it looks like it wants to sell. Fingers crossed.
So I have the room muted, but I'm hoping that my NQ traders are still short R3 instrument.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
short.
S3.
Get some people. I'm short AMD. R3.
Get you S3 short, huh? Dwayne.
Yeah, yeah.
Good job. Good job, gentlemen. Good job, gentlemen. Yes, sir. Weird luck handle. I like your style. Oh. This one's starting. I think this one's gonna get ugly. Because the issue we're gonna have on Apple here pretty soon is we don't need to get much further. I've got buffer on right now. If I didn't have the buffer on, this would already have killed this play. Because now our topside expectation with that wick going down actually has brought our topside in. We're probably either more likely to sell, or we're gonna sell and just chop while the market does stuff. If we do rally, I doubt it. Maybe we get back to PDC. So if you do this, if you decide to go long, you'd have to get target before PDC, or it's probably just not worth it. My pleasure.
Oh, by the way, though,
Mhm.
you know, after our last one-to-one, I've done like really crazy, killer trades. I don't know what you said to me, but something worked. And
Yeah.
but today's my last day with an internet, so I'll not be with you for the next 4 weeks.
I know, that's so
No.
sad. So sad. Someone's getting a fancy new house, and they have to wait for
Yeah.
internet.
Ooh,
So
congratulations.
it's a tough life, but someone has to live it.
So just in case I don't get to speak to you, like before you just run off with your ADHD.
It will happen.
So
It
just
just
want to say
happened,
thank
actually.
you, but I will be back.
That's
She'll
awesome.
be back.
Yeah, well, and of course, have an amazing experience in the move and getting set up and all that stuff. We're really excited. And I'm really excited to hear about, because I know the holds especially have been really rocking. So just keep going in that direction, and then I'll try and come up with new ways to confuse you by the time you get back.
Don't. But yeah.
Hey Farah, what's the name? Is your cat a Persian?
I've got 4. That one on the picture is Chinchilla Persian,
Oh,
and I've
nice.
got Siberian and British long hair.
Oh, neat. My sister has a British short hair.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Beautiful cats. And I actually bought one of my ex-girlfriends. I bought her a Persian because one of her other cats passed. So we got a Persian. It was a beautiful white Persian like yours. Such a nice cat.
They are.
One of my best animals I had and was we actually had a Maine Coon, which was like it was basically
Maine Coons are my favorite breed.
The thing was
They
so
are.
I had a
nice.
Maine Coon named Simba. I love that cat.
Huge.
Ours was
Yeah.
Max.
They got the
Max.
hairy paws and they got the tufted ears. They're huge.
We called him Max, and his Latin name was Maximus Cadius.
Oh, I love that name. That's a great name. That's a great name for a.
We would
for a
carry him
Maine
around
Coon.
like he was a gladiator, and we'd be like, "My name is Maximus."
Windows keyboard shortcuts that I know and trying to remember all the other shortcuts that I'm learning for Mac, and it's just that's my one gripe. I think everything else, the way it just works, is amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what
Are you
what do
getting that message when you're opening an app? That security
No,
message?
opening an MP4 video file.
There's an option when you go to system settings, privacy and security,
Yeah,
and if you try to
I
open the the video, there should be a
have
pop-up
to do
that
it
appears on
per
top.
video,
Oh,
and I extract like at least 5 videos a day, so it's a major pain. I don't know how to just say stop checking the damn video. I'm a trusted source.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Let me see if I can find something. I have a Mac.
All right, I appreciate it.
No
Other than
worries.
that, I love it. I love the fact that you can run the GPU memory as the memory as your GPU memory. I hate the drive space restrictions. That's kind of annoying, but the new MacBook 4 has Thunderbolt 5, so as soon as the drives come down, I'll get a few of those for external drives instead of paying the Mac premium price. It's ridiculous. They want like $5,000 for or $4,000 for 8 gigs.
I was reading, it says QuickTime Player, the default player on Mac, can only play MP4 files encoded with specific codecs.
Yeah, I'm using DaVinci Resolve to go and extract some of the videos from different locations and combine it to a one piece video, and it's not recognizing the extract as an MP4 that's trusted. Very, very annoying.
I'll send you a link I found that kind of goes over. It's kind of beyond me, but
Sure.
you could probably figure it out.
Yeah, I've asked like the AIs and stuff, and they're like, you have to
Yeah,
approve
but
every
this is
time.
a website to specifically thinks thought he could devastate the market, but just like every other time he's tried to do this, NQ doesn't give a shit. It just goes right back up. Honey Badger doesn't care. So it's looking better if people want to look for a short. I'd maybe wait for a new candle or something. Maybe a back test of R3 that can't go above it.
A lot of times I look at my journal in the end of the day and I think, yeah, I remember I was thinking there's no way that's a short there, and it ended up being.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like I'm going to be break even for the week, which I know that makes me a lot happier than if I would have been red, and then I would have been pissed.
Oh yeah, that's good, Tom. That was the first start when I started realizing that I'm starting to get it when I'd have break even days and weeks. So remember, it's about progress, not perfection, and we're definitely seeing progress, right?
Oh yeah, yep, I'm starting to see it.
Awesome. Well, so winning. Good Friday.
I
Soon
can't wait
those
till I can
break
be
even
like,
days. Soon those break
can't wait
even
till I can
days
get
or break
like
even
payment.
weeks. They'll turn a little green, and then they'll turn more green. You'll still have occasional red days, but as long as you start mainly being break even and a little bit green, it just keeps going up and going up. As Thor says, little by little, and then just all of a sudden you start getting it.
Yeah,
Right?
slowly.
Is it
Suddenly.
Wayne that says it's it? I remember when this was hard.
Yeah, that's Dwayne. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
then
wish I could say that because it's still kind of hard for me, but it's getting
yeah,
a bit, knock on wood, it's getting a bit easier.
yeah, that's definitely tongue in cheek when I say that, because yeah,
Yeah, I know. I
the more
know.
you start thinking that, the more the market says, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well here you
the more
go.
the market's going to slap your ass.
Here's one for you."
There's 1,077 point drop for you. Yeah, so I want to reiterate the fact that the market doesn't give a shit about price, and that 1,077 point drop just proved it, right? It it literally doesn't care if it goes down 1,000 points, up 1,000 points. It's gonna go where it could grab liquidity and balance its book. So never think like, oh, we can't go higher or we can't go lower just because of the price, because price really is just a nominal thing on your chart. It doesn't really matter, at least to the market makers,